Friends, at this time we are going to begin the funeral services for Dr. Mitchell Ross Weisberg. If you have a cell phone or a pager, we'd ask for you to please take a moment to turn it off or place it in the silent mode. And officiating today's services will be Rabbi Ari Hart from Skokie Valley Agudath Jacob.
We're gathered here today in great numbers, in shock, and profoundly sad at the loss of a beloved friend, healer, father, partner, brother, Dr. Mitchell Weisberg, Matisiyahu Ben Tzvi. We're here unbelievably, but we're also here with purpose, to give honor to Mitch's tremendous life, to support his beloved family and partner, and to find strength together. I'm reminded of a story about the funeral of the Sfat Emet, one of the great Hasidic rabbis who died very young, at 58 years old. Thousands of people were at the funeral, and they were shocked when his son, the Imrei Emes, said, "Our father was blessed to have arichut yamim, length of days." How could he say that his father had length of days? He died at 58 years old. And the Imrei Emet went on to explain that his father had made the most of every single day of his life. And while the number of his days were short, each one of his days was incredibly long and fulfilled and precious. And so too, while the number of Mitch's days feels so cruelly cut short, the length of each individual day was certainly not. He lived every day with the bracha of arichut yamim, long days filled with passion, family, music, healing, love, connection, and meaning. We're going to honor him today with some words from Andrea and then Shaina, and we'll begin with the recitation of Psalm 23. Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai Ro'i lo echsar, bino desha yarbitzeni al me menuchot yinahaleni, nafshi yishovev yancheni b'maglit tzedek leman shemo, gam ki elech begeit hamavet lo yirara ki ata imadi, shivtecha mishantecha hema yenachamuni. Taroch lefanai shulchan neged tzorai dishanta b'shem roshi kosi revaya. Ach tov v'chesed yudifuni kol yemei chayai v'shavti b'veit Adonai la'orech yamim. A song of David, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. God causes me to lie down in lush pastures. God leads me beside tranquil waters. God restores my soul and guides me in righteous paths for God's name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your scepter and staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in full view of my adversaries. You have anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. Begin with some words from Andrea.
Oh, yay. Well, we started out a doctor, 2 CPAs, and Andy. I'm Andy. These are the CPAs. It's a private joke, but a few people know it. I want to talk about my baby brother, Mitch. When my parents brought him home from the hospital 64 years ago, it was a joint effort by us to get rid of him, send him back. But when they decided they wouldn't send him back, we decided we would love him instead. He followed us everywhere, to the Cubs games, concerts, movies. Michael brought him to his 3rd grade show and tell. He was all dressed up like a baseball player. He was pretty darn cute. We really couldn't get rid of him. My boyfriends used to pay him to leave the house. He'd take the money and stay and annoy us anyway. Mitch was annoying. One of his favorite topics to talk about was himself. Watch me, watch me, watch me. But his truly favorite topic was his family. He was a great father to his girls when they were growing up. He encouraged them to be themselves. He was so proud of how smart and beautiful each one of them became. He was a great uncle to my daughter and the rest of his nieces and nephews that are here. Uncle Mitch. But he was more than a brother and a good father and a fun uncle. He was a doctor and a healer. I can't tell you the number of times people would reach out to me to tell me how much they loved him and how he saved their mother or their father, their husband or their son. I just had dinner with him for my birthday, and he was very hopeful for 2025. He talked about the nice breakfast that he had just had with Sophia, how proud he was of Shaina, and how amazing Zoe is. And of course, we talked about Archie and Olivia. Who doesn't? Listen, we all know he had flaws. We could take a vote. But now's the time to think about how much we loved him and how much he loved us. I look at this room and I see a village, a lifetime of family and friends that are part of his legacy. I know we'll all miss him, but if you listen real carefully, he's up there now going, watch me, watch me.
It feels like we were just here. It makes sense to look around the room today and see people from all walks of life. Those who knew my dad as Doc, those who knew him as Mott, Mitchie, and his most recently and favorite name of them all, Zadie. In every role he played, he was deeply devoted and deeply invested in making sure you, his friend, his patient, his daughter, his sister, his brother, his niece or nephew, he just wanted to make sure you were doing well. As we all know, our dad was our mom's rock. He was her travel partner, her dancing king, and her personal comedic genius. His passion for Judaism is what drew her in and continued to light up our lives. Shabbat dinners, Hanukkah parties, and everything in between. There's always a holiday to gather and honor those everlasting traditions. I will never forget playing soccer and looking on the sidelines to see my dad cheering me on. He was there from beginning to his end. In college, he came to Bradley to take me to a jazz bar. We never really could remember the name of the restaurant or the bar, so we just made it up and called it Rhythm Kitchen. I'm not even sure they serve food. He knew how to bond with each of us. He treated us like three individuals. For me, it was our daily phone calls, oftentimes saying nothing much other than, okay, bye-bye. I love you. Our last FaceTime just 2 days ago was just another typical one of me staring at my dog as he turned the camera around on Benji. My dad and I were going back and forth about his perfect smile and sweet face, and that was all. Our last family gathering, thankfully, was just this past Sunday, as we celebrated Olivia's first birthday. Oh my gosh, did he love Archie and Olivia? And wow, am I so happy they got to meet him and love him. Zoe and Josh, thank you for making our last memory with him so fun and so special. I want to also take time to thank you, Dad, for your unconditional love and for tutoring our high school in bio and physics and math, and most of all for still loving me, even when I was the only one who failed each of those exams. You always made me feel special, loved, and inspired. Your abilities to write and educate will continue to prosper. I promise to try and read and understand more of your work on the subject of mental health. You just wanted to better the world, and Dad, I promise you did. Today, as we remember and mourn our dad, I want us to embrace his passion for music and dance. Let's make sure today we celebrate a man who loved the dance floor and the man I will forever miss. We love you so much, Dad. You will forever be missed. Thank you.
This week's Torah portion, we have the first commandment given to the Jewish people. And it's a surprising one. It's not what you might think. It's not Shabbat or kosher. It's the commandment of Rosh Chodesh, HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem. This month is for you. It's the commandment of time, to mark your own time. The first step in becoming a free people is to have ownership over our own time. This month is for you. I think Mitch was a master of this first and central mitzvah, the mitzvah of time and of using time. Time is not something that passively happens to us. Time is something that we are meant to shape and dedicate and sanctify, and that's what he did. As a young man, as the baby, spoiled youngest child, not always so serious, until something clicked late in high school, early in college, realizing he had purpose in the world, realizing he had gifts that he needed to use to serve others. Going from the bottom of his class at high school, through the advocacy of his brother, to the U of I, where to everyone's surprise, he entered medical school and became a chief resident at Rush. And this was his medical practice, about using time to help and to heal so many. I'm sure there are many in this room who were helped and healed by him. A medical practice that understood that it's not just about physical health, it's holistic, mental health, physical health, how they're all integrated, and how wellness and purpose and ownership and meaning over one's time and one's life is the key to health. I spent a little time reading some patient testimonials. You can Google his name and read the reviews. Mostly doctors, if you look at their reviews, oftentimes they're not so positive. People complain about their doctors. Dr. Weisberg, it's unbelievable. Review after review after review. Doctor is like a second father that picks you up every time you're down and out for the count. The best to ever do it, the most understanding person I've ever met. These are quotes. He's like a second father to me that just wants me to succeed in everything I do. And for that, I've been blessed to find the best of the best. His entire approach to what a patient needs on all fronts is truly remarkable and refreshing. All I can say is I thank God I found him. I was in so much pain from serious back surgery, neck surgery, and strokes. I wanted to die. He gave me my life back. Best doctor I've ever had. Without him, I would not be here today. This is remarkable. And as remarkable as he was as a healer to so many, I think what's even more remarkable is how he was able to be so present at home. That's rare for doctors. And as a father, he maximized his time with his family, with his children. Carpool, drop-off, bedtime, homework. Zoe, you told a beautiful story about how he would prepare you for exams and prepare you to do the math, and there was a math teacher who wanted it done a specific way, and he didn't like her way, so but he spent all night learning her way to teach you how to do the math her way so you could succeed in the class. That's just tremendous. Tremendous dedication, tremendous presence, and tremendous joy, in addition to showing up for carpool and pickups and homework help. Just a sense of joy and love and silliness and dance and music that suffused the home and suffused your lives. Also incredibly present as a partner to our beloved Abby. She loved him for his humor. They traveled the world together, shared love for the son. And then after Abby's tragic loss, present again for Viviana, maximizing time, finding joy and purpose and meaning once again in love. And perhaps in his most treasured role, he maximized and utilized and sanctified time as a Zaidi, dedicating time each week, Taco Tuesdays, and every family gathering to be with his beloved grandchildren, Archie and Olivia. This is very remarkable. This is a remarkable human being, to work so hard and help so many and be so present for family. I had the zchut, the merit, to get to know Mitch in a very intense time in his life, the end of Abby's life. I had not met him before. I met him as Abby's life was ending. And that's when you see someone's true character come out in moments like that. Mitch was someone who was capable of so many things, so much talent, so much passion, and to see how he dedicated himself those last years, months, weeks, days, hours, and minutes to his dying wife, to her comfort, to her needs, every possible care and need. It's unbelievable. Very special person. When the Torah says, HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem, it's saying this time, this month is for you. And Mitch was someone who knew how to make time for him. He filled his time, he filled this world with his personality. You couldn't miss him. He lit up a room. But more critically, he knew how to make time special and sanctified, Lachem, for all of you, for all of us. His healing, his laughter, his smile, his care, his compassion brought tremendous light and joy to so many. And we're bereft. Bereft without you, Mitch, holding this pain and this loss, trying to learn from your teachings, to be inspired by your memory, to be grateful for every moment we had with you, to have known you and loved you, all at the same time. Yihi nishmato tzror b'torah chaim. May Mitch's soul be bound up in the bonds of life, and may his memory be a blessing for us all. As it is Friday afternoon, we don't recite a Kalmale, but in lieu of that, we'll recite Tehillim Kufkaf Aleph, Psalm 121, L'zecher Nishmat, his soul, Matityahu ben Tzvi. I invite you to rise as we recite this Tehillim. Shir Lamalot, Esai Nal Harim, Me'ain Yavo Ezri, Ezri Mi'im Adonai, Ose Shamayim Va'aretz, Al Yiten Lamot Raglecha, Al Yanum Shomrecha, Hine Lo Yanum V'lo Yishan, Shomer Yisrael, Adonai Shomrecha, Adonai Tzilcha Yad Yiminecha, Yomam HaShemesh Lo Yagheka, V'yareach Balayla, Adonai Shmorcha Mikol Ra, Yishmor et Nafshecha, Adonai Shmor Tzilcha V'wecha Me'ata V'yad Olam. A song of ascents, I lift my eyes to the mountains, from where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot falter, your guardian will not slumber. Behold, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. The Lord is your guardian, the Lord is your protection by your right side. By day the sun will not harm you, nor the moon by night. The Lord will guard you from all evil, the Lord will guard your life. The Lord will guard your going and coming, now and forevermore. You may be seated.
Friends, this concludes the services here at the chapel. The interment and burial service will continue at Memorial Park Cemetery in Skokie. For those of you traveling with us to the cemetery and the funeral procession, please do keep the following safety precautions in mind. Please make sure that your bright headlights and your four-way hazard flashes are on. Please be sure to obtain an orange funeral safety sticker for your windshield, and we will be providing several, but not every car in the procession, with an orange magnetic flag to be placed on top of your car. Please travel as close as safety permits to the car in front of you to avoid any gaps in our procession. And for your own safety and security, I would suggest not speaking or texting while driving to the cemetery. Following the interment, the family will be together at the Weisberg residence at 12 Williamsburg Court in Evanston. They'll be together today as they return until Shabbat, and then continuing Saturday evening after Shabbat. The family has also requested that any memorial contributions to the MRW Leadership Board through the North Shore University Health System Foundation or to the American Friends of Magen David Adom. All of that information is available in the service folder that you should have received when you came into the chapel today. If you did not receive one when you came in, we do have those for you as you leave. For those of you joining us online, the information regarding Shiva and memorial contributions is also available on our website. The following individuals will be serving as pallbearers when we arrive at the cemetery: Michael Kessner, Josh Berman, Ilan Yudkowski, Michael Finn, Doug Simmons, and Bob Horlick. At this time, I would ask everyone to please rise and stand in place as we escort the family and the rabbi from the chapel.